It's very rushed today. But we found a camp spot at a city-state park, and I am currently in our annex because it's windy outside. There's a little bit of sunshine, so we decided to put the tent up. So the tent is up right there. We've got our diesel heater in there, just because when we left Mabel it was still pretty damp, so that guy is drying everything up out there. Hopefully the sun comes out this evening and hopefully tomorrow. First day, by the way, with no rain all day. It's been phenomenal. That's why we decided to put the tent up. I'm actually currently standing in the annex, and Rick is outside making steak, so we're gonna have ribeye tonight. Are we having a ribeye? Yeah, we're having a ribeye. But the heater's on. I just got out of the shower, had a quick shower. Dinner is being made, and we're actually going to sit inside our annex and have dinner. And so the setup for that looks kind of like this. So if you can tell, where are we? There is our table right there. We kind of shove it under the tailgate just because we are limited with space. We have one chair in the corner right there. That's my chair, and this is Rick's chair in the other corner. And this is, again, we have access to the drawers because we will be getting, you know, things that we need from this drawer for food and stuff. The other drawer right here, we have towels and extra jackets, which again, extra storage. But with this being kind of set up like this, and even this table is here, like it kind of sits under that tailgate, but we still have access to our drawer right here where we kind of store all of our goods. Kind of a scattered mess right now because when you're traveling, you just kind of start putting things anywhere, everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes if there's space, you're just going to shove it in there, right? But again, really easy access. And when we don't have this table in here, we can actually sit on the tailgate. But because we're going to be eating inside, we brought the table inside. And so pretty tight quarters, but it works. And we can't really move around, but we have a mat on the floor. Again, there's a chair over there. The other chair is on the corner there. And we're going to be enjoying a meal inside the annex. And then probably use this table here to play a game of Play 9, which is our go-to when we're traveling. Hang out here and head up to the tent for nighttime. So anyways, I didn't show any of that setup just because it was a little bit chaotic when we did find the spot, but wanted to shower, get dinner started before night fell. But now we're going to kind of chill for the evening. Again, when we're also in here, another bonus is we have our lights back here, right? So lights act as lights for our table or dinner table, mood lighting, whatever you want to call it. Those guys are up there. And then if I have time tomorrow, I'll show you guys. Probably take down. It's pretty easy. We didn't put the awning out just the annex and the tent for this evening, and sit down, have dinner, get a good night's rest, and see where we end up tomorrow, I guess. So I decided to pop out and show you guys the setup for this evening. We are in Ocean City, I believe. So at the state park here, it was $38 for a basic site. Not the best, but sometimes when you really just want to shower and just hunker down, you're just gonna have to settle for what you end up getting, right? But anyways, pretty decent spot. Showers, not hot, lukewarm. Bring shower shoes. Always bring shower shoes. Anyways, here's the setup for tonight. So as you can see, we've got the heater going right here. She's been amazing. We run that pipe into there, and then eventually it goes into the tent depending on what we need heated up. Here's the setup again. This is our carrier for our diesel, and these are 2 water jugs. This little spigot here, we have $10 off Amazon. You turn it on and it just fills the water for you, so you don't have to constantly keep emptying out these water jugs. Great find. We charge on the road as well too. Again, here's the heater. Again, we didn't bring out the awning just because we didn't feel like pegging anything extra down, and we're just gonna kind of hang out in the annex. And there's the tent and the back end of the annex here. And there's Rick making our dinner, which looks like, what are we having? That is dinner. Jesus, that's a thick one. Oh, it's gonna be so good though after today. Then we're gonna top it with butter and some parsley maybe. Can't forget our greens and some garlic today. So that's dinner. Bad news this morning. We ran out of propane, so I've had no coffee, and we haven't had breakfast, so we just decided to pack up and get the fuck out so we can go get some propane, and then we'll stop somewhere along the way and have breakfast and probably a coffee. I think it's about 8:30 in the morning right now. Convenient. I had a shower this morning as well too, so it's nice to kind of wash my hair again. But again, no video on how we pack down, just because we kind of tried to get out of here relatively quick. But we're gonna hit the road again, go get some propane, fill up the diesel, then find a nice spot to have breakfast and more, or I guess coffee. Oh god, I need coffee. Like, I love coffee. It's my only vice. I'm gonna keep it. Okay, see you on the road. To come to the beach. We are just outside of Westport, Washington. Ended up driving onto the beach. There's lots of people out here. We did the similar thing when we were down in Texas last year. So we won't be hanging out here for too long, but we did stop up the street up there at a picnic spot, grabbed some breakfast, filled up on coffee. I'm feeling much better. I definitely needed to eat this morning, have some coffee. So we had bacon and eggs, and Rick had some leftover Five Guys burger patties from a few days ago, so he finished those off. But the bacon and eggs should satiate for the rest of the evening. The plan is to head south, keep going on the 101 until we get to Oregon. Once we hit Oregon, we might cross over and get gas because it's cheaper down there, or we might just head straight east and hunker down for the evening, depending on where we end up. I'm thinking we might just sleep at a rest area tonight, getting as much sightseeing as we can for today. And I think that's pretty much it for now. So there's the beach and the ocean. It's still cold. It's still cold. Probably time to go to Hawaii. It's time. Except I can't take my truck. But anyways, continuing on.
Still videoing.
So as you can tell, we are sleeping in the truck again. It's now Thursday evening. Where are we? Just outside of Tacoma, Washington. One of the rest stops here, Supac? What the hell was it called? Anyways, just off the I-5, northbound. We pulled in and parking lot is full of people in their cars. It's wild how many people are traveling. I often wonder where everyone else is going, and what their plans are. But anyways, we stopped outside of, or in Lacey, I should say, at a Five Guys for dinner because we knew we were probably going to sleep at a rest area, so we didn't feel like pulling out all of our kitchen stuff to make food. So we ended up having Five Guys. This time, 8 patties only because it was a little bit later. It was around 8 o'clock in the evening, so I didn't want to eat too much. I got some cheese with the patties, extra bacon as well too. It was actually filling, but also extremely expensive in Washington. I don't know why, but they charge way more at that particular Five Guys for extra patty. I think it was $4.50. That's US. That's almost $7 for us Canadians for a fucking burger patty. Mind you, though, it was delicious, but definitely not worth a $70 meal in my books. So we had that, pulled up, just brushed my teeth in the rest area. And now I'm settled into the back. As you can tell, actually you probably can't tell, but trucks are back there. I'm in the back here. Rick has gone to brush his teeth and get ready to come back in, and we're gonna be sleeping here. Probably get up pretty early. Just because sleeping in a rest area of this magnitude and this chaos, in this much chaos, it gets pretty loud. But a couple of hours will do us. We'll probably get up at 6:30 maybe, hopefully, and then hit the road, stop for a coffee, and then continue. The plan is to go northeast, and then maybe swing back south. I don't know. There's a couple of stops we want to make before we got to cross the border back into British Columbia. But for tonight, dinner was Five Guys. Like I said, 8 burger patties of cheese and bacon. I am stuffed and I am exhausted and just ready to go to bed, so I'll probably end up falling asleep here pretty quickly. Anyways, good night, and till tomorrow. So we woke up at the rest area. Surprisingly, that was one of the best sleeps I've had on this road trip. But we woke up just before 7, used the utilities or used the bathroom, brushed my teeth, washed my face, and then we hit up a Starbucks. First Starbucks on this road trip since leaving BC, so we've done pretty good in that respect. But grabbed a coffee. We actually had an incident with our awning. The bracket broke off. Not sure when that happened, but now we had to stop at Harbor Freight. Is that how you say it? Harbor Freight? Harbor Freight. We need to replace the bracket because it busted off while we were driving. Not sure how the hell that happened, so we gotta fix that before we continue on. But I think the plan is coffee. We are going towards Snoqualmie Falls. I think that's what it was, Snoqualmie Falls. Towards a waterfall out there. Apparently it's the one that was featured in Twin Peaks, if I read that correctly. I vaguely remember watching the show like early 2000s. I think that was the show. I wasn't a huge fan, but either way, that's where we're gonna go. Waterfall. We are hunting for rocks. Rick needs rocks for his aquarium at home, so we're gonna do that. I think en route to the falls, we're going to try and find a picnic area so that we can set up and again have breakfast. So when we get into situations where we are not camping and are sleeping in the truck, we will usually try and hunt down picnic areas where there's access to a picnic table or even just a parking lot where we can set up our our stove and probably make coffee and have breakfast. It has worked out for us. It's probably one of the easiest ways for us to travel. After last night's dinner at Five Guys and spending almost $70 on burger patties, I still have food in the fridge. We haven't actually had to purchase any food with the exception of eggs. That was the only purchase we've made. And pork rinds for snacks, just because their variety is a little bit different down here for us. So we usually try and get pork rinds just to test out what they have. Another great snack option if you really wanted to, but we still have some pemmican bars. So we left home, what are we, a week? 7 days. We haven't had to purchase much in terms of food. So pack what you will eat, I guess, is the takeaway here. But also know that there are options available for you if you are traveling, if you kind of know what to look for. So in terms of if you run out of food, just simply best options are to find ground beef and eggs, bacon, and some steaks, or some sausages if you want. Easiest options out there. If you have to stop because you're so inclined to eat at a restaurant, you do you. I personally cannot justify the cost of eating out at a restaurant compared to what I will get when I get my groceries and a little bit of extra effort to stop at a picnic area and obviously cook your own food, right? But again, you do you. For us, it just makes sense when we are traveling. And I mean, this isn't even a long road trip for us. 7-9 days on the road isn't a huge amount of time. So food options, we can pack it in the fridge. But I mean, even when we did Texas, we were on the road for 25 days and we bought minimal food as well too. So a little goes a long ways when you're eating carnivore, because you are eating dense nutrient food which satiate you for longer periods of time. So then you're no longer having to stop all the time to grab snacks and go to the bathroom and do all that stuff, right? So we tend to travel in a way where we prefer to stop and sightsee, like we did on this road trip, which was a little bit different because we did do a lot of stop and go. So we did do a lot of stop and walk around and kind of take in the environment, versus before we were kind of more concerned about putting on miles. This time we are not concerned about putting on miles. We're concerned about actually just stopping and doing more sightseeing, which we did this road trip. So it was a little bit different, but it was good. So anyway, so that's it for today. I think coffee, like I said, fix the awning bracket, continue forward, find a picnic area, have breakfast, see some stuff. And I think this might be, I think we're going to try and find a campground tonight so we can set up early, relax before we had to head back into BC to get home. But who knows? I plan shit out and, you see a sign and you're like, oh, I gotta stop. So who knows? The adventures of travel, you'll plan, but things will always go sideways, or not sideways. You always find other things to kind of see and do, I guess, along the route. But this coffee is definitely not going to be enough. I'm going to need another one. So that's it. So what do you got?
Yeah, read the instructions.
God, I'm trying to fix a bracket because we can't find a bracket. Glue. So it's in 90 seconds, so it says. And then bungee cord it with some extra bungee cords, because you never know when you're going to need a shitload of bungee cords. We'll see how this goes. we are in Leavenworth, Washington. Drove by just to check this little town out. Tried to stop at the local campground here. Everything is full because it's the long weekend here, which totally forgot. So looks like we're not going to have much luck. But we did manage to have a quick shower. Don't tell anyone. I snuck in and had a shower. But then they caught me, so I had to move. I don't know what happened to Rick, so hopefully he figures it out and finds me. Fuck. Oh, God. I just wanted a fucking shower. Couldn't even shower. Anyways, hopefully we find each other. Otherwise, I'll be driving around like a lunatic. And then I'll probably be asked to leave and be escorted out. So I'll keep you posted on that. Good news, Rick found me after the free shower at the KOA, and now we have stumbled into Leavenworth, and we are trying out some sausages at the Leavenworth Sausage Garden. 3 sausages for $25, all gluten-free. We're gonna give them a go, try out. We got the bratwurst, the kielbasa, and the beef frank. So that's 3 sausages for $25. Now that we're showered, we don't need to shower. We're gonna have some grub, and then we can pretty much sleep anywhere. So if you're ever traveling, find yourself a KOA, see if you can sneak yourself into a shower for free. Just joking, don't do it. You'll get yourselves kicked out, but also free showers. And now we're gonna try some sausages in Leavenworth, Washington. So here are our 3 sausages: bratwurst, kielbasa, and beef frank, and all these sides. But we're going to try some of this mustard and see how that goes. So that's dinner. How much does this cost? 27?
US.
27 US. Fuck. God, our dollar is brutal. But it looks good. How is it? That's dinner. This video brought to you by Resting Beef Face, natural tallow-based skincare.